Breaking news: EU fires urgent warning at Elon Musk X over illegal content and disinformation following Hamas attacks. By this day, you already know that Israel has been attacked by Hamas, a very terrorist and horrible attack. I'm really sorry about Israel, and I don't know what to comment. I don't know which side I have to take. I'm not taking any side. I just want to give the information that it is in this article, okay? So, in a very swift test of the European Union newly updated content moderation rulebook, the bloc has fired a public warning at Elon Musk's own X, formerly Twitter, for failing to tackle illegal content circulating on the platform in the wake of Saturday's deadly attacks on Israel by Hamas terrorists based in the Gaza Strip. The European Commission has also raised concerns about the spread of disinformation on X related to the terrorist attacks and their aftermath. To be completely honest, I agree with what European Union is doing because what I have seen on Twitter, or let's say X, there are a lot of news coming up, a lot of um, news that I'm not so sure if they are for real or they just want to mislead what is happening there. So it is really important to moderate a little bit the news feed on Twitter. Unlike terrorism content, disinformation is not illegal in the EU per se. However, the EU Digital Services Act puts an obligation on X as a so-called very large online platform to mitigate risk attached to harmful falsehoods as well as to act diligently to reports of illegal content. So even the Thierry Breton is stating on the Twitter that he's not really pleased with what he's seeing the content on X, saying, of course, the illegal content and disinformation in the EU. So Elon Musk, be careful of what you're doing. In other words, graphic videos apparently showing terrorist attacks on civilians have been circulating on X since Saturday, along with other content, including some posts that purport to show footage from the attacks inside Israel or Israel's subsequent retaliation on targets in the Gaza Strip, but which fact checkers have identified as false. To be completely honest, after reading this, I kind of think that it is right. I have seen some videos where I'm not really sure if they are for real or they are from a different year. So the moderation of the content, it's really questionable, and I really doubt that Elon Musk is really doing what he has to do. I really understand um, the purpose of Elon Musk. He wants a free speech platform, but in the same time, a free speech platform needs to deal with the disinformation, with misleading information. So how you deal with this? This is very hard uh, from a consumer perspective. So you, Elon Musk, you should be able to moderate this type of information somehow. The Hamas attack on Israeli civilians and tourists, which took place after militants inside Gaza managed to get past border fences and mount a series of surprise attacks, have been followed by Israel's prime minister declaring, "We are at war," and its military retaliating by firing scores of missiles into the Gaza Strip. I'm not in the place to say that I'm agree with launching so much missiles, but in the same time, I think that some actions by Israel needed to happen over the Gaza Strip. A number of videos posted to X since the attacks have been identified as entirely unrelated to the conflict, including footage that was filmed last month in Egypt and even a clip from a video game that had been posted to the platform with a false claim it showed Hamas missiles attack on Israel. I have seen some really interesting videos that I'm like, okay, why I'm seeing this video? But it looked very real, even though I saw a lot of information that's stating that yes, there are a lot of videos on Twitter that are from video games and they are not real, but they look so real. This is just madness at this point. Now, a Wired report yesterday summed up the chaotic situation playing out on Musk platform in an article entitled "The Israel-Hamas War is Drowning X in Disinformation." Well, I have to agree about this. I really have to agree. At one point, Musk himself even recommended people follow accounts that had posted anti-Semitic comments and false information in the past, although the subsequently deleted the tweet where he had made the suggestion. A piece of this information is this post on Twitter, and I think you can see what he's talking about. So he's talking about that Hamas is not basically entering Israel, and some information are saying that it does. So conflicted informations, I would say. On a false information on Twitter, Elliot Higgins stated, "Last night we saw a totally false claim about Israel bombing a church in Gaza go viral, thanks to multiple blue tick accounts repeating an unverified claim that had no evidence to back it up. Musk has created a fundamental issue with Twitter's credibility in moments of crisis. Many accounts are verified on Twitter, and on verified accounts you can say that yes, I am trusted in this account because it's verified. But even the verified accounts are not trusted, and this is creating a big issue of trust in some accounts on Twitter. And I have seen that so many times on Twitter with other particular subjects, with other issues. It's really hard to trust even the verified accounts on Twitter. Since taking over Twitter, Musk has painted the largest target on X when it comes to DCA enforcement on account of a series of changes he's pushed out that make it harder for users to locate quality information on X. This includes ending legacy account verification and turning the blue check system into a game of play to play. Well, this is not going well. Right now, Elon Musk might suffer some issues within the EU because they urgent a letter to Musk today in which EU Internal Market Commissioner Thierry Breton also shared on X. The bloc has sent the strongest signal yet it believes Musk platform is in breach of the DSA, although this is by no means Musk's first warning. In his letter to Elon Musk, Breton writes that the EU has indications that X is being used to disseminate illegal content and disinformation in the EU following Saturday's attacks. He then goes on to remind the company of the DSA's very precise obligations vis-à-vis content moderation. So basically, Elon Musk has been warned and warned again about this information. And I think that this is going to be going even further and worse for Elon Musk within the EU. But this is something that we will see in the future. Asking Musk to be effective against disinformation is a bit like asking to stop moving, but well, this is how the regulatory dance must go. And after the dance comes the denouncement, which, if DSA breach is confirmed, means enforcement, and actual penalties might be a bit harder for Musk to troll. So, in other words, EU Commission will might fine Elon Musk for disinformation, and he might think again of moderating the information on Twitter, especially within the EU space, especially within the European space. In the meantime, the EU has asked Musk to make contact with relevant law enforcement authorities and Europol and ensure that you respond promptly to their requests. Breton also flags some unspecified additional DSA compliance issues he says his team will be contacting Musk about shortly with a specific request. So this story is really, really wild about Elon Musk and the disinformation on the Twitter, and especially the disinformation that comes into European space, where Elon Musk should be careful how to moderate that information, and it's not just in the EU, but it's wherever Twitter has been used. You need to moderate information, and you need to fight disinformation if you want a free speech and the proper way to managing the right information. Well, that being said, this is the news about Elon Musk and what he does. He never does the right things. He maybe sometimes he does the right things. This guy is really controversial. He basically is doing what he wants, but EU is going to give him penalties, and that might hurt him, not as much as we might think, because it's just about Twitter, it's not about Tesla. But this is just the beginning of questioning Elon Musk of what he does on Twitter. So, in other words, I hope that you like what you saw. Subscribe if you want to, like, dislike if you want, and until next time, bye bye.